And we are back for the final day of Nations League action this summer. I'd just like to say again a massive thank you from me to all the support you've given this channel and this series over the last 14 days. The channel has more than doubled in subscribers, which is something I did not expect to see at all. And in terms of views, we just passed 10,000 yesterday morning. So really great to see how much we've grown over literally just 2 weeks. It is only match day 14 and all of this has happened in just the space of 14 days. So an absolutely massive thank you from me, and do not fear, the content will not stop. I plan on having maybe like 2 or 3 videos over the course of the next couple of weeks before the Women's Euros starts on July the 6th, and from there it will be daily uploads once again for the Women's Euros. And then as soon as that finishes, the Premier League season will be getting back underway, so non-stop content from the start of July. So if you are new around here, if you're not one of the people that have subscribed over the last 14 days, please do consider subscribing, because it massively helps me out and helps the channel grow even more. So one final thank you from me, and now we'll look ahead to the usual process of running through the final Matchday 13 results, and then looking ahead to actually the biggest day of Nations League action this summer. There are 12 games today from I think 6 different groups. That would make sense, 2 games a group. So let's get into it one last time with Matchday 13's results. And to be honest, this actually started off really well for me if we bring up the final scores. Kazakhstan Slovakia got absolutely spot on with 2-1. And in the 93rd minute of Azerbaijan-Belarus, I was on for that one as well. But Azerbaijan were just about able to get a second goal right at the very end. So disappointing there. Iceland-Israel ended 2-2 as it did in the reverse fixture. Denmark showed their quality against a much weakened Austria team, it has to be said. Ralf Rangnick changed an awful lot of his players, which he hadn't done for the previous 3 games. So no surprise when I saw those lineups that Denmark got the win. And then France, who now cannot defend their Nations League after losing at home to Croatia. And I have to be honest, I watched the game. France played well. France played really well. And there weren't like players missing that weren't forced to be missing. The likes of Pogba, Kante, Varane, a couple of others, all out injured. It was Mbappe, Benzema, Griezmann, top players, all on the pitch for the French. So a fantastic result for Croatia, their first ever win over France. And like I said, it means that France now sit bottom of the group, and with 2 games left, they cannot catch Denmark. So their Nations League defence is over. And you've really got to question their validity as challengers for the World Cup now. I think you do. They're in the same group as Denmark at the World Cup, so it's a great marker for Denmark to put down. We'll see what happens in the Nations League game between them in September, but I think France have got an awful lot of work to do if they are going to be considered as serious contenders for the World Cup after what I've seen from their top players over the last 14 days. All in all though, that means that the matchday score was 4, all from the 2 early games, and a tournament score now of 63. As always, please let me know how you're getting on. This series will carry over into September, so please keep track of how you've got on. Let me know down in the comments, and let's get in to the final day of Nations League action, which is matchday 14. And I'm going to do it like this. There isn't literally enough space on my screen to fit all the fixtures and my lovely face. So we're going to split it up into 2 parts. We'll start with League D and League C, which is what we've got here. And we start with Moldova and Andorra. A game that was 0-0 in the reverse fixture. And Andorra have just about slightly performed better than Moldova over the first 3 games. So given the fact that Moldova are at home and that the first game was 0-0, I'm just going to go for a 1-1 draw. It's very rare you'll see me go for a 0-0, but it wouldn't surprise me if this one did end 0-0 once again. The other game in the group sees Liechtenstein come up against Latvia. It was 1-0 to Latvia last time out, which I thought was a bit of a disappointing result for Latvia. They normally, well, in the other game certainly, have scored better than that. And I am going to go for a 2-0 win for them in this one, which would see them top of the group if the other result goes as I have predicted. On to League C, we have Luxembourg up against the Faroe Islands. Again, a game that Luxembourg won the away leg. You sort of call it an away leg, the away fixture. So I am going to stick with Luxembourg to win this one as well. I'm going to go for a 2-0 win this time. It was 1-0 last time. And finally in this group we have Turkey against Lithuania. And despite Lithuania being arguably the second best team in this group, Turkey were the side to beat them by the biggest margin. It was 6-0 in the reverse fixture in Lithuania. You're never really going to see me predict a scoreline that outlandish. Potentially in the Women's World Cup predictions, Women's Euros, I might go for some fixtures that outlandish. But I'm just going to go for another 4-0 Turkey. 4-0 Turkey served me well so far, so I'm going to give it one last roll for the final video of the summer. And now let's move on to Leagues B and League A. So we start again in League B with the group of Ukraine, Ireland, Armenia and Scotland. A group that saw a bit of change after the last round of fixtures, given Ireland's fantastic result against Scotland. So that has changed my thought process over the game against Ukraine. I still expect the Ukrainians to win though. I just think, again, on paper, they are the strongest team in this group in terms of personnel. So I am going to go for 2-1 to Ukraine. I would have definitely gone for a bigger winning margin if it wasn't for how well Ireland played against Scotland last time out. So that is how I'm going to score it there. As for the other game, we have Armenia and Scotland. It was a 2-0 Scotland win in the reverse fixture. But Armenia have done well at home so far in the Nations League, and Scotland just had that really bad performance against Ireland. So I think one of two things happen. I think either Scotland butt their ideas up and put on a comfortable win. But I'm going to go for the other option, which is I think off the back of a poor performance, Armenia are able to capitalise. I'm not going to give Armenia the win, which may sound a bit harsh as well, but I'm just going to go for a 1-1 draw. I am tempted to give Armenia the win, but I'm just going to leave it down the middle and see what happens. As for the other group in League B, we start with Bosnia up against Finland. Finland, who have done very well, I think, so far, up against the Bosnia team that have probably slightly underperformed for their standards. I am going to give them the win today, though. I'm going to go for a 2-0 Bosnia win. Again, I think on paper they're probably just a stronger team, and at home I would expect them to get the win. As for the other game in the group, we have Romania up against Montenegro. Romania getting their first win of the tournament in their last game, which was, of course, their first game at home. Now they come up against the Montenegro side, which they drew with in the reverse fixture. So I am going to give Romania the win. I'm going to go for 2-1. I was thinking about it, I think Montenegro may have won the other fixture. I'll have to check that one up afterwards. But I'm going to go for 2-1 Romania. I think they are the strongest seeds in the group. They should be winning these games at home. So that is what I'm going to go for there. And now we move on to League A. And we start, of course, with England. And my word, has a performance ever been needed? Sitting bottom of the table on 2 points, and hopefully some of the players were watching the France game last night and thinking we can't let that happen to us here. I've spoken already about how if we don't win this game, I think Gareth Southgate should be sacked just for poor performances. I mean, I think he should be sacked anyway, just because I don't think he's good enough to lead this team to the World Cup. But we have to win this game. We really have to win this game. Not only to keep any chances of qualifying for the semi-finals, but also to stay in League A for the next tournament. So I expect England to win. I think they should win. So I am going to go for 2-0. But I was at the game at Wembley last year where it did finish 1-1. So it wouldn't surprise me to see us not win this game. But I'll be fuming if we don't. So I'm not going to predict against England here. And I am going to go for that 2-0. As for the other game in the group, I predicted Germany to win away at Italy in the last game they played last week. It did end in a draw. I think Italy have done well so far in the Nations League. I thought they were the better team against England, despite being the away team in that one. And Germany haven't really hit the heights that they could, struggling to get results against all three teams so far. They've had 3 draws, so I'm going to go for a 4th draw for the Germans and give this one as a 2-2. I can see this being a very open game. And yeah, 2-2 I'm going to go for there. And as for the final group, we have the Netherlands up against Wales. And after the disappointing performances from the Netherlands in the last 2 games, I am only going to go for a 2-1 win here. That was, of course, the result in Wales. I would have gone for more if it wasn't for the fact that they did struggle against Poland last time out and only got the 2-2 draw there. So that's what I'm going to go for in that one. And finally, we have Poland in a rematch with Belgium, which saw Belgium win 6-1 in the reverse fixture. But with that said, and given Poland's last result against the Netherlands, I think it's going to be a much stronger showing for them this time. I predicted 3-2 Belgium in the reverse fixture, and I'm actually going to predict 3-2 to Belgium again. I think the Polish have got more than enough quality to harm them, but overall quality, Belgium should just about be getting the win there. And that is going to be it. So what I'm going to do is, as always, put in the description of this video all of the fixtures for today, so you can comment down below with your predictions. A final thank you again from me for all the support you've given me over the last couple of weeks. Please do again consider subscribing if you do enjoy the content we produce here. Drop a like if you enjoy the series. Ring the bell so you can get your predictions in before anybody else. And I will be seeing you once again very, very soon. Thank you very much for watching.